right, so your super special teacher did something genius, and she gave you the wrong answer sheet in the answer keys. So you either have to just fast forward to the end of this wonderful video to find the answers, which is fine with me, to check your work, or you can follow along with me and do it as we go along. All right, so we're still subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. And again, we had our rule number 1, write them vertically. Rule number 2, same denominators. And rule number 3, subtract or add the fraction part first and then adjust your whole numbers by undoing your number and turning it into an improper fraction instead of a mixed number. So right here we're going to skip count by 2's. I can already tell you if I skip count by 9's, 2 doesn't go into 9, but it does go into the second number, 18. So I can just multiply 2's. 2 times 9, so I'm going to multiply the bottom and the top by 9. And this one, in order to get it to 18, I'm going to multiply this by 2 to get it to 18. So I'm going to carry my whole number over and then multiply across. 8 times 2 is 16. 9 times 2 is 18. And then bring my whole number over. Go in order so you get a pattern. Otherwise, I'm not going to lie, you just forget a number at some point. 1 times 9 is 9, and 2 times 9 is 18. We are subtracting, so I'm making sure my symbol. And now, because my denominators are the same, I'm just going to bring that 18 down. So I have 18 as my denominator. Now I have 16, take away 9, and I know that's 7. So that's my numerator. Numerator, denominator, and my whole number, thank you again, kindergarten, 2 take away 1 is 1. So my answer is 1 and 7/18. This cannot be simplified because 7 is a prime number, and the only factors of 18 are 2 and 9. So we're checked off there. Next, 3 and 7/9 minus 2 and 1/3. 3 can go into 9. So, unlike this one, 2 cannot go into 9, but 3 can go into 9. So I'm going to leave this one and push this over. We're done with it. 3 and 7/9 for right now. And now we're going to multiply. We're going to bring our whole number over. And then we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by whatever it takes us to get this 3 to 9. So you only trying to adjust this denominator to get to that one, which would be 3. And then whatever you do to the bottom, you just do the same thing to the top. So 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm subtracting. 7. Now again, that was the first rule. Get the denominators the same. So we did. I'm going to put that down here. Now we're going to subtract. 7 take away 3. 7 take away 3 is 4. And 3 take away 2 is 1. Again, 4 and 9 cannot be simplified because the only factors of 4 are 2 and 2. The only factors of 9 are 3 and 3. So that's its simplest form. Next, number 9. These have denominators that work. That's great, except for, guess what? I don't know if you noticed this. This has a larger denominator on the bottom, or the numerator on top. So this is a numerator and it's a 7, and this is a numerator and it's 5. So I've told kids, I mean, really you can go negative. You can just say basically you owe them, and then it's a little different. But we're going to just kind of practice the same method as like kind of regrouping. Again, if you wanted to, you could not do that, but when you do improper fractions, this is going to make it all easy. When you take a mixed number like these are all mixed numbers, and we're going to turn it into an improper fraction. That was when you kind of make that C thing, and it's like clockwise undo it. You're multiplying the bottom and adding the top number. Multiplying the bottom numbers and adding the top number. So we're going to just mix. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 5 is 29. We have 29/8. Now, 8 times 1 is 8, plus 7 is 15. We have 15/8. And we're subtracting. So now, over here again, our 8 is our denominator. It is going to stay the same. I'm going to take these out and put them over here so I can see what I have. And then 9 take away 29, or 9 take away 5 is 4. 20 take away 10 is 10. So we have 14. And I would have 14 over 18, or over 8 left. This is an improper fraction. Improper. So we need to say, just like again, if you have 14 Skittles and it takes 8 to make a bag, how many bags would you have? Well, you're going to take away one group of 8 to make your whole bag, and that means 14 take away 8 would be 6, and you would have 6 left in a bag where 8 would make it. So we're not quite there. However, this is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. But we're going to do something called simplifying now. We need to simplify this fraction just so people, I mean, eighths are pretty common. So I'm not going to lie, 6/8 is not something that's uncommon in a measurement, in cups, or anything. But 6/8 is the same as, you look at what numbers go into 6 and you break it apart to 3 times 2. And you can break this one into 4 times 2. And you ask yourself, okay, so what numbers do they have in common? I can cross off a number they have in common as long as it's on the top and the bottom. They have 2 in common on the top and the bottom. I have 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 is the same as 1 6/8. And I'm just going to write that here. So any of those answers would be fine with me. I did not write up here to say simplify, but it is interesting to know. Okay, here we go. 1 4/5 take away 3/7. So we have it vertical, check. We do not have common denominators. So by common denominators, I am going to, if I wanted to skip count by these numbers, but I automatically know that the only numbers that 5 and 7 have in common are 35. So I'm going to multiply both of these by whatever it's going to take to get this number, this denominator, to 35. And I'm going to do the same thing for this bottom number, which is going to be 5. I'm going to bring my 1 over. So what we have is 7 times 4 is 28 over 35. And 5 times 3 is 15 over 35. So now we have matching denominators. We're subtracting. So I get to bring down my denominator of 35. And now I have 28 take away 15, which is going to get me to 13. Awesome. So I have 13. Now, remember, don't forget your whole number. So I have this whole number, and there's nothing to take it away from. 1 take away nothing is still 1. Okay. This is my final answer. 13 is a prime number. That does not mean it doesn't have a number it couldn't go into. If this was 36, I could do it. Or sorry, 26, I could do it. Or 39. But 13, the factor, if I start skip counting by 13, 26, 39, I go right past it. So none of those match a number skip counting by 35. So we're good there. We're in its simplest form. Next, now we have 3 5/7 minus 2 1/2. Now, right off the bat, just so you know, I already know that 5/7 is bigger than 1/2 because half of 7 is 3 1/2 and 5 is way more than 3 1/2. So I'm not going to have to do any of that part as far as, like, you know, finding, borrowing, and crossing things out and moving whole numbers around. But I do need a common denominator. So again, the only numbers by 17 are 17 and then 14, so I'm just going to go to 14 and use that. So 7 times 2 over here, and down here, in order to get to 14, I need to multiply the bottom by 7, and then because I did that, I also have to multiply the top. Do not forget to carry your whole numbers over and your function so you don't forget. And then I'm going to multiply across. So 10 over 14. 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. So I have 3 and 10/14 minus 2 and 7/14. So I have the same denominator. Now I can start to subtract. I'm going to use my fraction part first. And I have 10 take away 7, which is an amazing 3. And now I have this super complicated math part, 3 minus 2. Thank you, Miss Williamson. Number 1. Probably your mom and dad probably taught you that too when you were really little. Anyway, so I have 1 and 3/14. 3 is a prime number, but 14 has factors of 2 and 7. So it can't go into either of those, so this is its simplest form. All right. Last one, yay! If I had one of those confetti popper things, I'd probably pull it. This has been kind of a stressful night. Here we go. Now, we have 3 and 5 as denominators. 5, 10, 15. 3 can only go into 15. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It takes 3 times that, so we're going to use that 3 over here, multiply the top and the bottom because we're increasing the percentage, the ratio the same. Then we're going to do the same thing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to increase both the top and the bottom by groups of 5 to come up with the same denominator. Don't forget to move your whole numbers. I kind of feel like I sound like a broken record, but it will happen if I don't say it. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. And 3 times 5 is 15. So I think you kind of already saw what happened here. Now our denominators are the same, which is awesome. But now in our numerators, we have a 9 on the top and a 10 on the bottom, which means can I take 10 away from 9? Not without getting a negative number, which would be 1/15, which would leave 14/15 left, but I'm not going to go into that. We're just going to undo this by using that clockwise motion of multiply and add. So 15 times 1 is 15 plus 10 is 25. So we actually have 25 15ths, and then 15 times 2 is 30 plus 9 is 39 15ths. So now, reassessing this, we're subtracting, that's our function. We have common denominators, we're going to make sure we push that down. And if I'm going too fast for you, always remember to hit pause. That is the whole point of these videos. I'm not trying to go too fast, but the YouTube thing only lets me do a video that's under 15 minutes, so it's kind of why I have to stay focused and keep going. All right, so now I have 29 take away 39 take away 25. If I say it wrong and do it wrong, it won't work at all. 9 take away 5 is 4, 30 take away 20 is 10. I have 14 15ths left. That would be my final answer. All right, we did it. We're done. I'm going to work on the reading section next, but I'm going to zoom out really quick so you can kind of maybe if you need to take a shot, a quick, maybe I'm not going to zoom out because my clip broke. If I told you that my technology would benefit from about $2 million, what would you think? Ha ha. All right, so there you go. There's our work for week 5, day 4. You now have an amazing 12 assignments left for the end of your school year. Keep it up, you guys are awesome.